Hey, what's happening everyone? It's Ted Carr here with another NoFap update video. I've made a couple in the past and they seem to be quite popular and more people want more information about NoFap, more updates about it. So here I am with a 3-year NoFap update. I want to answer a few questions in this video like, do I still do it? What do I experience from doing it? And what tips and advice would I give other people who want to succeed with NoFap? So first off, what is NoFap for those of you who don't know? NoFap is like a trademarked, copyrighted term. Apparently, some guy actually trademarked that phrase. It means no masturbation, no touching yourself, no blowing your load. I'm not actually sure if the NoFap community, if they're into, like, I'm pretty sure they are. I don't study NoFap like a lot of people do. It's like some people's like lifestyle, they study NoFap. I don't know if NoFap people believe in no sex, but for me personally, when I talk about NoFap, I just mean no watching porn, no masturbating, and no blowing the load. So do I still do it? Yes, absolutely. I think once you start doing NoFap, you never really go back. It's kind of like, I guess you can go back to anything great in life. Like I used to think you could. Like once you start meditating, how could you go back? And some people just quit meditating. It's crazy. It's like veganism. Some people become vegan and they just quit being vegan. It's crazy. But with NoFap, it's kind of like one of those things, like when you start doing it, you stop masturbating for the very first time in your life, you're like, wow, this is revolutionary. There's no way I'm ever going back. And then if you do go back, you slip up and you're like, whoa, that sucks. I can't believe I used to do that all the time. But for a lot of people, it's a long-term lifestyle commitment. And the very first time I ever heard about it, I was totally against it. I remember my friend Derek, D-Man, High Carb Hannah's boyfriend, he was over at my place and he told me about it and he's like, dude, you should try it. You should like not masturbate. And I was like so against it. I was just, it was the exact same emotion I had when someone told me that I shouldn't eat animals. I was like, that is so dumb, dude. Like, I'm a man. I want to eat animals. He tells me I shouldn't masturbate. I'm like, dude, I'm a man. It's what I do. I masturbate. Like, every guy does it. How dare you tell me not to, touch myself? Like, it's my body. I'll do what I want, And I thought it was so weird. I wanted to like kick him out. Like, dude, get out of here. Don't tell me not to masturbate. That's a weird shit. I'm never going to do that. Just drop it. Give me some other advice. Not this NoFap crap. But then I heard about it multiple times through other people, and some guy handed me this book called like Male Multiple Orgasms, talked about how, if you don't bust your nut, you can hold it in, you can actually have multiple orgasms. And so I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, okay, I'll do NoFap if I can get multiple orgasms out of it. That sounds cool. That was many, many years ago. And Ever since I started practicing NoFap full time, ever since I got on the lifestyle, on the path, what I've experienced is just like more positive moods more consistently, brighter outlook to the future, more optimistic, more pleasure in the smaller things in life, like whether it's like just the breeze on my hair or something, or the fact that the sun is out, or I see, a bird or something. Like just little things are like really, really pleasurable now, because when you FAP, what happens is you experience such, like the ultimate pleasure. Busting your nut is the ultimate pleasure in life. It probably feels as good as injecting heroin. I don't know. I've never done heroin. Maybe it feels as good as smoking meth or something. Like that's why people get addicted to it. Like busting your nut is the ultimate bliss. It's like, you can't argue. I'm not going to make a video about how good it feels to bust a nut, but it's like the ultimate, right? And so what goes up must come down. And if you experience that amount of pleasure, how could anything else be as pleasurable? It's kind of like when you eat a really, really sweet fruit, and then you go back to something like totally neutral, like maybe a cucumber or something. You're like, it's not, it doesn't satisfy. You'd eat something sweet, well, again. So you become very, very tolerant to pleasures if you're fapping all the time. And so you can't really experience, and this is like a chemical thing in your brain. It's like a hormonal thing. Like you can't really experience pleasure in the smaller things if you're experiencing such immense pleasure with fapping every day. And people might be watching this saying, Ted, I FAP every day and I still get pleasure from little things. And I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome, you do. But maybe you could be experiencing 10% greater pleasure with those things. Maybe it could be a 15% increase in the pleasure of those other things. I don't know. But all I do know is that for me, after I FAP, my energy is a bit lower, my focus is a bit lower, my discipline is a lot lower, my self-control is a lot lower. And I love all those things about NoFap. I love the fact that since practicing NoFap, since beginning about 3 years ago, like hardcore, I'm much more disciplined. I'm much more focused. I'm much more productive. And little things in life feel really good. And so the question comes up, it's like, Ted, do you ever FAP? Or are you always 100% on the ball? I'd say over the past, I'd say like my yearly average or something for masturbating is maybe like 10, 12, 11 times, or 10, 12, 11, 10, 11, 12 times. So yeah, I'll slip up occasionally, but when I do slip up now, it's almost like because I have so much reserved in the bank, so much like hormonal balance reserved in the bank or something. When I do slip up, when I do FAP, it doesn't get me down like it used to. Like if you're FAPing daily, you're just digging yourself into the ground, man. You're like staying low at least. But if you do no FAP for a while, you can build up like this bank account of, not immunity, but you can build up this bank account of resilience, if you will. So when you finally do bust a nut, you can get right back on track, and it doesn't throw you off that hard. It doesn't bring you down as deeply as it did. But if I ever do bust a nut, I make sure never to do it twice in a row, 2 days in a row. So do I fall off track? Yeah, but when I do, it doesn't F me up, and when I do, it doesn't put me into negative emotional spin like it used to if I was doing it regularly, and it doesn't, and I don't stay off track. I get right back on track. Now, the biggest tip I'd recommend someone adopt, or the biggest hack to succeeding with NoFap would be have a goal, have a vision, have a project so big, so immense, that falling off track with NoFap is like the silliest thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to optimize your life for the micro things. Like, think big, man. Think of the big picture here. If you slip up, okay, you slipped up. Get back on track. You should be so busy, so focused on your goal that's like all you're thinking about. You want to be so obsessed with your project, so obsessed with your work in life, that who cares if you slip up? You get back on track. You focus on your goal in life, man. What matters is not if you mess up and you masturbate. What matters is, do you accomplish your goals? NoFap is just a way of helping you accomplish your goals. It's not the end all. Okay, it's just a tool that you use. So it's like eating bananas. Eating bananas is great. It allows me to have more energy, allows my skin to be clear, it allows me to recover, it allows me to sleep well, to have good moods, allows my digestion to be fantastic, allows me to get in my carbohydrates, allows me to get in my vitamins and some minerals. Right? Bananas are cool, they're a tool. But I'm not like, oh my god, yeah, bananas. I'm just focused on bananas my whole freaking life, and it's like I dedicate my life to bananas, and I just care so much if I have a banana every day, or if I don't have a banana, I freak out. Like, it's not like that. Bananas are just a tool. Whether I have them or not doesn't really matter. Like, I can get other fruit, So even if you do mess up with NoFap, you can do other things. Like, you can meditate, you can go work out, you can go hang out with friends, you can laugh, you can watch some comedy, you can freaking sleep more the next day, just recover from it. So that would be a big tip. I'd just be like, say, don't just optimize for NoFap. Like, think of the big picture and use NoFap as a tool. The other thing I'd say is, I'm calling it NoFap in this video, and people are like, take a shot every time he says NoFap, whatever. Right? Like, I don't even consider it NoFap. I only think the only time I ever talk about NoFap is when I make these videos. Outside of these videos, I talk about cultivating health, retaining life force. Right? So I focus on the positive, not the negative. NoFap is like, don't do this. I want to focus on what to do. I want to focus on cultivating health, raising the vibe, expanding vitality, retaining that life force, building it up, activating that third eye, feeling bliss. I want to focus on what's good, not what I don't want. All right? So, like, if someone's always slamming the door at your house, what you want to do is you want to tell them, hey, can you please shut the door softly? Thanks. I'd really appreciate it if you shut the door softly. I'd appreciate it if you tried to shut the door softly next time. Something like that, right? Rather than saying, don't shut the door, don't slam the door. When you tell someone the negative is what sticks. The negative is what they're all focused on. So you tell someone, don't slam the door. All you visualize is slamming the door. All you hear is slam the door. Yeah, there's the don't in there, but then there's no actual vision. There's no actual call to action for the positive. So if I have a link on my website and it says, click here to learn more, do I tell people, don't click on the red button down there that says exit? No, I say, click on the button that says learn more. Right? You want to tell people what to do. It's the ultimate marketing tactic. Tell people what to do. In fact, if you're still watching this video, just want to let you know that I am having a webinar Thursday. And if you want to attend that webinar, it's going to be every Thursday. Going to go live every Thursday. If you want to attend that webinar, you can click the link in the description. You might be wondering, Ted, what's the webinar about? It's actually about how I make all of my money online. So if you want to learn how to make all your money online through videos, through ads, through funnels, click the link in the description and I'll show you how it's done. Now, back to the NoFap chat. Those would be my tips. I'd say have a big picture, have a big goal, have a big project in mind, and just work on that. Be obsessed with that. People who don't have projects, people who just simply go to their 9 to 5 and come back, it's like they don't have anything going on in life, they're the people who get into trouble. They're the people who get stuck on this whole NoFap thing. They're the people who get stuck on masturbating, watching porn and stuff. And if you don't have a big goal, it's way outside of the scope of like things that you think are impossible. If you don't have those sort of impossible goals, it's so easy to get caught up and frustrated when these little things go awry. But when little things go awry and you got a big project, it doesn't matter. Frick, dude, they're negligible. Big picture, that's the big goal. What's the target? What's the target? So have a big project and focus on the positive. Focus on cultivating health. Focus on eating more bananas. Focus on meditating. Focus on getting outside. Focus on doing breath work. Focus on coming to the Canada Fruit Festival. Focus on creating videos. Focus on creating content. Like, do something, man. Do something. Don't not do something. Just do something. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna not do this, not do this, not do this. I'm not gonna eat that cupcake today. I'm not gonna have my coffee today. I'm not gonna stay up late tonight. Dude, eat fruit. Meditate, work out, get to bed by 10 p.m. Focus on the good in life. So those would be my tips on succeeding with life force cultivation, life force retention. Do I still do NoFap? Yes, absolutely. Do I slip up every now and then? Yes, absolutely. But it doesn't throw me off. And when I'm having sex, do I blow my load? That's another good question. I usually go into sex with the intention of not busting the nut. And it's communicated with my partner or my partners. I say, or I let them know, or they find out that like I'm not gonna bust, and it's cool. They're usually cool with it. They're usually on the same path. Because girls can benefit also from NoFap, big time. But every now and then, again, it's like, screw it, it's too good, let's do it. And it happens. And again, that's communicated ahead of time. It's not like, whoops. So, do I practice NoFap on my own? Yes. Do I practice it when I'm with a partner? Yes, as well. And it's just as hard for me to, because it is a challenge. It's just as hard for me to not come as it is difficult for me to not make or not want my partner to come. Because when a guy makes a girl come, or when I make a girl come, like it feels good. It's like an accomplishment. It's like, wow, nice. She feels amazing, and like, you're welcome, Like, it's nice seeing a girl just go into that state because of your hands, or because of your mouth, or because of your, Johnson. It's nice seeing that. But at the same time, it's like, I also like when she edges, when she gets to the verge and then she doesn't. She falls off or stops or whatever. Like right on the verge. That's cool too. I like that. So one tip I'd give you, massive tip, this is a big one. If you're having sex and you don't want to bust your nut, if you're having sex and you don't want to blow, don't clench your butt cheeks. Like, have the sex, and then when you feel like it's getting too good, just don't clench your butt cheeks. Let them relax and continue the motions, but just focus on your breath, focus on giving the girl pleasure. This is tips for guys. Focus on giving the girl pleasure, and don't clench your butt cheeks. You can only bust a nut if your butt cheeks are clenched. So keep them loose, go through the motions, still enjoy it, but just don't clench your butt. You can only bust a nut if your butt cheeks are clenched. Now, having said that, if you do get to the point where it's like too good and you're like beyond the point of no return or whatever and you're about to bust, that's when you have no choice but to clench. You clench absolutely everything at that point. Clench your toes, clench your fingers, clench your hands, clench your jaw, clench your butt, clench your scrotum, clench your abs, clench absolutely everything, and just try and hold it in as best you can. And just squeeze, 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 squeeze. And you'll actually find that can help you not blow your load. You can actually hold it in then. So yeah, don't clench your butt cheeks when you're going if it's getting too good. And then if you do go past the point of no return, you're like ready to come, then just clench like crazy. If you want to try and fight it, it's kind of fun. Other times, you might just say, screw it, I'm just going for it. And that's fine. You learn. Just be aware of how you feel afterwards and ask yourself, is it worth it? And every now and then it's going to be worth it. You feel fine after. You don't feel down at all. You don't feel less productive or anything. You just feel totally normal. You're like, wow, no, fapping is actually great, no problem. But that's when the issues can arise. That's when the habits can come in. You're like, okay, well, if masturbating, didn't affect me that time, or blowing my load didn't affect me that time, I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll do it again tomorrow. And then it becomes like this downward spiral. So you can get away with a lot of things once, like if I were to smoke weed tonight, but yeah, it was cool. I hung out with my friends. We smoked some weed. We got high. That was dope. Played some good music. Watched a funny movie. Had a good time. Woke up next morning. Felt great. Let's do it again. That's when the issue arises. So it's like you can smoke weed every now and then. You can get drunk every now and then. You can have coffee every now and then. You can blow your load every now and then. But once you start making it a habit, that's when it becomes an issue. If you're doing it more than like once a week or once a month, man, it can become an issue for sure. I'd say limit yourself to once a month tops. So about 12 times a year for anything that's not like super, super healthy. Even if it's like staying up super late, like do it maybe 12 times a year at the most. But try to stay really consistent, man. Week in, week out. Stay consistent. And focus on the fruit, baby. All right, just want to remind you that if you want to check out a free webinar with me this Thursday, click the link in the description. You can sign up there and learn everything you need to know about how to make money online, whether it's with funnels or whether it's with ads, or whether it's with ebooks or video courses, coaching, whatever. I'll let you know how it's done and how you can get started right away as well. Click the link in the description to sign up. It's totally free. It's a full hour training class with me. Also, I'd love to see you at the Canada Fruit Fest. If you haven't got your ticket for that, I definitely want to consider that. There's going to be a lot of really, really cool people at the Canada Fruit Fest. And yeah, it'd be amazing to see you there. You can use the code COMEFRUITYOURSELF to save yourself $25 on the ticket as well. Link for that is in the description also. Okay, peace out. Beautiful day here. I'm going to go outside. Maybe go for a run. Ciao.